That ended really abruptly. I wasn't ready. We are live with Bladenite Productions. That's Buddy Lord. Xevious is here too. And we've got someone coming on the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. What's your artist name, buddy?
Joe Sanchez.
Joe. So we're waiting on Joe. Hopefully he... Pardon I. A little bit of a cough there. Hopefully he'll come up. Maybe some of my boys will pop in to say hello too. We've got some people in the chat. Rick Saylor's here. Hey, Rick Saylor, how you going? He says, "Hail, Michael Bancroft. Hail, right back at you." Lord Cracker says, "What happened to Frager was skullduggery bullshit." It absolutely is. And in case anyone isn't aware, Frager's channel is gone. Apparently, they were looking at some very normal level of ass titty, and they nuked his channel for that. I don't know how that happens, but it's YouTube, so no one knows how anything happens. It's all the only rule is we'll do whatever we want to you, and you can't do anything to say anything else.
So I caught that in the last hour as well on Shay's channel, as well as the one before with Mandy. Is it done, or can he appeal it?
It's suspended. So
okay, yeah.
Suspended channels have come back, but it can be a nightmare to speak to someone. Usually it's when like someone big up, you can get help from someone else. I saw Rakita and Az tweeted out, so hopefully he'll get some help from some bigger people. They'll have a contact that they can talk to and say this is nonsense. It's probably got masked flagged for some reason, who knows.
Nice.
But yeah, hopefully he'll be back up on his feet, even if they might stop him from streaming for a little while, which would suck too. But
absolutely, yeah.
Oliver's here. Hey, how you going, buddy? Good to see you again. Gusto's here. He says, "How like a Bancroft? How right back at you?" Todd Truth is here. Well, we've got some people in here. Blue says he's running late. Well, you can come in whenever you want, Blue. Mm-hmm. Shane is here. He says, "G'day, gentlemen and chat." G'day, right back at you.
Good day.
Yeah, there you go, Crackhead. Jeremy, Lord Crackhead, struck some ass titty. Fenrir the Ice Wolf. Ooh. What you think about the Brie Larson YouTube channel? We can chat about that in a second.
Yeah.
Crackhead algorithm is flawed. Yeah, absolutely. And Antoine says, "Cheers, gents. Blue reckons it's automated. Too much flesh tones and the AI gets you." Yeah, I imagine like there's a lot of comics with some cleavage. I can see some cleavage even in this Sins of the Fate.
Mm-hmm.
But as we're talking about that, let us let in your wonderful artist, Joe. Joe,
hey,
how do you go?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Hey, Joe, what's up?
What's up, man?
Nice to meet you.
Every time Xevious talks, I feel like the earth should shake.
Yeah, I know those tones. I mean, God, imagine just turning up the bass to 11. Your bones would shatter.
You guys make me blush every time.
Amelios Comics is back. I was having trouble with his name yesterday, and now he's spelling it differently. It actually is a little bit easier to pronounce, and I hope you didn't do that just for me. Felix Haas is in the chat, dropping links. Crackhead says he's already appealed it. Yeah, it's so stupid. Whenever I get a video flagged, it disappears, and then I go into the thing, and I just type "no violation," hit enter, and it's back up. Actually, it doesn't come back up straight away. They send me an email saying, "We've reviewed it, and we found that it does in fact violate our terms." It's back up. So yeah, I agree, Blue. There's no one at the wheel.
Yeah, I think that's true. I did probably 6 hours straight with Buddy and Bandito as well, and we got flagged on both. And I just said, "Hey, we didn't do anything wrong." Basically, as simple as possible. And then 24 hours later, they just went back on again. So
Yeah, when they say they've reviewed it, no one's reviewed anything. There's no one there. The offices are closed. Everyone's at
Yeah, they're at
home,
home.
petting their cats, just doing what they do.
Yeah, they all live in California. California is like on lockdown for another 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so are we actually. We got out of lockdown. I'm in the state of Victoria, at the bottom of Australia.
Mhm.
All of Australia, 25 million people. We've had 100 deaths. And in my state, 6.5 million people, we've had 22 deaths in this entire period this year.
Wow.
And we just went back into lockdown. So they're closing up everything again because I think we had a spike of about 20 cases or something.
Is this like
30
Groundhog's
cases.
Day? Like they come out, and if there's any at all, they go back in for.
Pretty much. So yeah, I think I calculated 1 in 300,000 people in this state have died from this thing. That's less. You have a better chance of dying by just getting into your car and driving around.
Better chance of dying
But-
by a
but
shark.
they're
that's not in the
preventing-
water.
But they're preventing everyone from getting into their cars.
That's true.
So they're killing two birds with one stone.
Jinx.
Yeah.
Pardon the pun.
So now, let me
106
ask,
deaths. Yeah, that's right. That's all of Australia, though, Shane.
But before we get into it, can we talk about this stuff openly? Because I mean, it seems to me I took your channel down about 2 months ago by accident when this all started.
Well, let's not talk about it then.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's not look at any. Let's not look at any breasts, and let's not talk about any pandemics. We can talk about. I know. I don't even know. We can. Are we allowed to talk about Brie Larson? Remember, they said you can't denigrate anyone else's channel. I saw.
Denigrate her. We can just say that she's getting it very easy.
She is, isn't she? I watched Az's video on her, and he didn't have many complimentary things to say about her approach to YouTube, too manufactured. She's got to do more like us. I mean, we keep it we keep it pathologically unprofessional over here.
That's right.
Well, even though some people around Comicsgate put on a persona for their YouTube channels, Brie Larson's different. She's a professional actress. Everything these actors and actresses do is a put on.
Yeah, it's like manufactured fakeness. She's like, she was doing, oh my god, it's what's happening, as if all this stuff hasn't already been planned out. And then the people on the other side that she's chatting to are like, if I had known, I would be coming on. Well, you're sitting there. What do you think's happening? Of course you're coming on.
I mean, I can put it pretty simply. I remember when actresses and actors began to get into politics, and everybody's like, "What do you think of that?" And I'm like, "These are people that are paid to lie convincingly."
I mean, my grandmother can adapt to getting into StreamYard far faster than these people pretend to. By the way, she's dead. So.
Hamaleos, thank you for doing that. He's a boy from Greece here, representing Greece comics. Antoine says they should let it run its course, thin the herd a bit. I don't know about thinning the herd, but I feel like by just going back into lockdown, we're just kicking the can down the road. Here you go. Apparently, there were 191 new cases in Victoria yesterday, but you have to also take into account they're testing more, and we still have a 0.01% death rate in Australia, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I believe, like, I watched a really good video by Eric July 2 days ago, and it was like 99.6% of people recover fully, pretty much. And as the numbers go up, testing, that's why the incidence numbers go up. But it's still your survivability of it doesn't change. It's
I think most people would just say, let's be sensible. If you're a high risk person, say you're over your 70s and you have problems, stay inside and all that sort of stuff. But there you go. I don't know. Anyway, let's not talk about that too much.
All right. Well, all right. Has anybody here had symptoms? Look at the real symptom list and say, did that ever apply to you? Like December?
Not the bad ones, but I know that we all got sick around February with flu-like symptoms, but none of the shortness of breath or like really bad stuff or anything like that.
I got intermittent shortness of breath. That's not the one they're talking about. It may affect blood pressure in a certain way, but I don't want to detail on that. That's just me putting things together. But for the list of symptoms I saw by the end of March, I realized that at the end of February, I was having those symptoms in rotation. Like I had never had dizzy spells like that, and then it came out that there's a neurological effect on people, and I'm like, oh, those dizzy spells they like buzz, and then the next day it would be coughing for a bit, and then that would go away in the next day. So it was like I had all the symptoms, but they were in rotation. Only I also take zinc and vitamin D and a whole bunch of stuff that came out later as being very helpful for fending off a virus rather than recovering. And it's like, well, maybe that was it. Is I'm already, doing judo, staying in condition and whatnot. So I'm starting to ask around, like, did anybody else have symptoms, and what's your situation where if you didn't get too sick? And it seems like some people had symptoms and it just went away after a couple days.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Mel, my wife, she got it the worst. Kids had it pretty bad. I had it the easiest. It all happened around February. It lasted about 3 weeks on and off. And I've heard that same story. It happened to me in January, happened to me in December, all sorts of stuff. And so I think a lot of people were actually infected, and no one knows about it yet.
I'm just thinking, for my own curiosity, I'm interested in an antibody test. But if they say I need to take the test in order to get a card to go to work, I'm just going to say no.
Yeah.
Freedom.
Let's just not forget when they first put us in house arrest, because that's what it is. They said in order to prevent the hospitals from being overwhelmed. Don't let them change the story.
Good point. But do we want to talk about this?
We just did.
The channel is already gone. We're in the ether now. But while we're still up, I think we're still live.
We are.
We're live.
We are. God, that voice. That voice. I just want to listen to it. Just keep talking.
Dude, you make me blush every time. Well, hey, have me on shows anytime, and I'll talk about whatever we want.
Do you guys need a room together? I mean, we can all disappear for a while.
You can go into the private chat.
How many inches are you from your microphone?
Like a few. I've just got same as everybody else, like a blue snowball and a boom. So,
okay. What if I do this? Is that better?
It's called proximity effect. The closer you get, the more bass response.
Okay.
So what sounds fancy.
He gets to the live.
Guys.
Yeah, this is very gay. Nothing wrong with
guys. I know. I was getting really gay on Twitter today.
Nice.
With my gifts and my back and forth. I was like, okay, I got to cut this off here. People will start, not that there's anything wrong with that, just people will start asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
They'll think I've got the talking about the wife all the time just to throw you off the scent.
That's right.
What wife?
Hey, exactly. You've never seen her. You're down in the basement. All you do is hear about it. Felix Haas says Sins of the Fae book looks really good. How far are we? We're 13 minutes in. Let's actually talk about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's the breakdown here of the team that you've got here, buddy?
The team. Well, we've got Zevius is our colorist and art director.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Joe Sanchez does all the line art.
Mm-hmm.
All the line art.
Every bit.
And you are the writer.
Yeah. I just, I let them do their thing, and then at the end of it, I put words on it.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to do a comic, I hear. What's your guys' history with this? Is this have you done previous books, or where are you coming at this from?
I haven't. I've done. I published my first poem in like a international anthology when I was like 12 years old. Sold
so
that.
You just caught the bug from there.
Yeah, a few $1,000. Wrote poetry.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I mean, I got.
You were how old?
12.
And you got a few $1,000 from a poem?
Yeah, it was called Viking Princess.
Wow.
You must have been king of the schoolyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I just, it was like one of my first forays into the internet, and it was a competition, and I entered it, and it was kind of funny because like I wrote it just based on I got on the internet and I went to like one of those pen pal kind of sites, and there was just this hot redheaded chick standing on the top of a mountain, and out in the middle
I've
of
had the same dream.
and I was like, and she looked like a lighthouse or something, and I thought I was like, man, that's just like a Viking princess. So I wrote the poem and sent it in, and they said, hey, you won. Do you want this money? I'm like, sure.
Did they know you were 12?
Maybe not.
Probably not. Yeah.
They
Oh,
thought
that's
it was-
awesome.
they thought it
What
was
does a
19.
12-year-old do with a couple of $1,000?
Oh, I bought all kinds of stuff that I couldn't tell my parents about because they didn't want me on the internet at the time for whatever reason. So I bought like all these video games and stuff, and I was like hiding them. And then like my dad found out because I was stupid. And they're like the plastic. Remember like the plastic sort of like cellophane that wrapped everything.
Mhm.
I brought home like 10 games and videos and CDs and everything, and I stuffed it in the corners of the chair. My dad's favorite chair, which was really bright. So then he sat down in it, and it made that crinkling noise,
Yeah. He was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So did they confront you and ask you if you were dealing drugs?
No, they thought I was stealing video games, and my mother took me by the ear to like all these pawn shops and everything. Was like, do you know this boy?
And he's like, yes, he paid cash. You good customer. I used to, I don't know if you guys know, I used to play poker professionally.
Mhm.
And every week I would come to deposit cash into my bank account.
Mhm.
And I'd do it on Monday morning. And every week I'd go to the same teller. It's a small bank. And he'd give me that little smile, and I'd come up and hand him the cash, and he'd say, so you had a good weekend this week? A nice weekend? I'm like, yeah, it was really good. I did this and that. And we're talking about the cash. And I always wonder, because this went on for years, I always wonder what he thought I did, where I just would bring in, thousands of dollars in just $100
That Michael
notes.
guy from the mafia came back in. The
Yeah,
Australian
every
mafia.
But it was around that time when poker was really big. So I don't know. I guess he always said he would have thought I was either a drug dealer or a poker player.
Or
Were you on rollerblades at the time?
Only once.
Nice.
And Xevious, you're the colorist.
I am. Yeah.
Have you been coloring long?
Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I've run an ad agency for almost 20 years. So I think in a sense I've been coloring stuff for most of my life. As far as comic books, I suppose this is my first, as the title, colorist, my first one.
Yep.
And I'm a fine art. I've been painting since I've been, could hold one. So yeah, color is just my thing. So this wasn't really a stretch.
Mm-hmm. You're all about selling with color.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it is. It's a pitch for sure. Every page.
Yeah, and we've talked a fair amount with you here about your approach to coloring and how you wanted to do something different and unique and stand out and on Sins of the Fae. And Joe, what's your background?
Well, my background is in graphic design and comic books. I started back in the early 2000s. Then I worked a little bit for DC Comics and Dark Horse and Image, and then some advertising. And I'm back in comics. Been back in comics for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
What brought you back?
What's up?
What brought you back?
Boredom. Advertising is kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I do email marketing and stuff like that. It can get pretty monotonous. And yeah, Antoine says, "Oh, cool, another graphic designer." There's so many of us. I'm a graphic designer as well.
Oh fuck, dude!
By the way,
I think in my world that's a dirty word. I would never say graphic designer.
Really?
Yeah.
well, it's how you tell people the sort of broad range of the things that you do. No one actually knows who I work with, what a graphic designer does.
that's
So
true.
they ask me to do things because, oh, you're a graphic designer, you can do this. And I'm like, I can do that, but it's not because I'm a graphic designer.
Do you guys know the song "Graphic Designer" by Electric Six?
No, but I love Electric Six.
Well, there you go.
Is it
Yeah,
funny?
Electric Six. That's gay bar girl. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I love Electric Six.
So yeah, they have a song. God, I gotta send you a link to it. It's she's a 9 to 5, a Photoshop and Tiger. She's a graphic designer.
I like it already.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go around saying, "Hey, I'm a graphic designer."
Yeah.
I was calling myself just a designer for a while because I was doing so many different things that were outside the realm of what you would traditionally call graphic design. But now, just I don't care.
Exactly. That's what happens in advertising. You end up you go in thinking you're going to do designs or stuff like that, and then you end up being in charge of accounts, and then you're all of a sudden you're a creative. That's what they call you. That's your new position. You're a creative.
Is that what you call yourself, Xavius? A creative?
Oh no, I don't like any of the words associated with it. I'm
Yeah.
I use art director, I suppose, because I mean, if I do a TV commercial, then I'm the art director or the creative director. If I put together a team to do a website, I'm the creative director. I stare as far as I can from, like, graphic designer is what my friends' bored wives do on their
Doing invites for their I don't know, nights that they put on for each other.
Oh fuck yeah!
For their kids dances at schools.
Yep.
That was the first job I ever got, actually. I got hired and I got paid. I think I got paid like $25 to design a school dance flyer. And I remember I found it about 10 years ago and it was so horrendous. Mm-hmm. It was really, oh my goodness.
Huh. So for me, it's funny. Like, Buddy tells me often that I'm kind of an asshole when we talk about work. And so I got a 4-year
That's the
degree.
director in you.
That's right. And I got a degree. So in communication design.
No, that's just in general.
Yeah. And in general too. Right. I'm Don Draper, except I'm not as good looking. Although you actually look.
Do you dress in those suits? Do you drink whiskey during the day?
I do both of those things.
Who the hell doesn't? What kind of question is that?
Yeah. Those ones are true.
I'm just asking the questions everyone wants answered. Antoine Dennison's here saying he prefers doing back-end stuff. So I was just, trying to swerve away from that.
I know, right? Doing back-end stuff. That sounds a little
God, I just can't help
man.
but go gay today.
I like the back-end stuff.
Let's take a little bit of a look at what we've got here.
Yeah.
Bladenite Productions. There will be a reckoning.
All right, so not to be spoilers, but are those just stones that her power is elevating, like in Dragon Ball or something? The gray blotches.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. She's she's a Viking witch in the Guardian. She is Yggdrasil's own, a child of the World Tree, and the whole thing is that she's always casted spells by absorbing the anima or the life energy from everything around her. But she's never wanted to use it because she's always pulled so much she's killed everything. So what she's doing here is she's literally flooding the molecules of air around her with so much anima that it's bursting. And so everything around her is just shattering.
Okay. I like her pet.
It's cute, hey?
Yeah, he's very cute. Actually, he's got a nice design to him. Joe, did you design him?
Yeah. This guy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now he's 6-limbed, so there's a drake and then there's a dragon, so I guess he's a dragon, right?
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a dragon.
What'd you draw on for this?
I mean, my tools, I work on an iPad and Clip Studio.
No, I'm sorry. I meant what did you draw from?
Oh, sure. Okay. Anime. I don't know if you guys have heard of Lotus War, Record of Lotus War.
I know nothing about anime, so I just nod. Like an
old 1980s Dungeons and Dragons style anime, basically.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. I'm worried if I linger too long on this, we're going to get our channel taken down now.
I know if we want that, we can pull up Electric Six videos and just play them, because obviously the prior discussion didn't work.
Oh.
This is cool too. What is this? A variant cover?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love that. I love these colors.
Yeah, that's last time you and I spoke, you're saying that I kind of push it, and this is definitely
Yep.
let's push this as far as we can.
Yep.
And this was right on the eve of us going live. So, in fact, it's just a panel that we was like, we need something that's really, really graphic. So, yeah, we just took this one.
Yeah,
So-
I'm seeing like mystery and magic and kind of excitement and action in there. There's movement.
Yep.
That's sort of in all the line art and the colors as well.
Mhm.
And we've got Faye up there as well. Bit of a hint.
Yeah.
Now this next page.
Is that the same pet?
Yes.
Yep.
So does he grow in the story, or is that like
He
seems a little
right
bit
now in this portion of the story, this is going to be sepia toned, and the reason why is because this is a memory. This is a memory of Granny talking to Nikki, who's obviously her granddaughter, and you notice like the mom's not there. There's a reason for that. Granny's raised Nikki from since she was 3 years old, and this is kind of a passing down of the guardian. Like right now, she is the guardian. She is the holder of Khalidbolg. That's the dragon's name. And, in time, it will be passed down to Nikki. And when it's Nikki's turn to hold it, it's her first time bringing it, to summon it. And so it's smaller. As she learns more and she grows with her abilities, it'll become stronger and bigger.
Okay.
That's the convenient that they've got some nice what are those ropes or handles on his back there they can hang on to.
Yep. it's like a joyride,
It's handy, dude.
Locks
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, you don't want to be just hanging on to his spikes.
That's right.
I like Joe. How long does this take you? And you got that other fairy under there with details in her wings as well. Yeah, how long does a
This
page
is
like this
very
take you?
detailed.
It takes me anywhere from 8 hours to 15 hours to do a page. That's like a day and a half. Like if I don't have any interruptions, something.
And
You don't
it's-
have any 2-year-olds jumping on you? Do you have a 2-year-old?
Yeah. Got a
You do?
4-year-old. Yeah.
Here's something they don't tell you about fatherhood that I just learned just before, about an hour ago. Sometimes you'll be standing urinating in the toilet, right?
Mhm.
And then a 2-year-old will come in with a ladle in his hand, and he'll put the ladle between your legs through close to the stream to try and catch the stream in the ladle. And only by screaming, "Ah, get out of here!" will you avert a bad situation. I just learned that lesson. That's not in any of the parenting books. So that's one for free. You'll
Thank
get.
God he won't remember this.
Mo Biggs is here. Are you late? You're always right on time, Mo. Thanks for coming here, man.
Okay, we can start the stream now.
Bandito is busy. I think he might be drunk actually because he was doing his stream today, wasn't he? The chaotic crux stream, character crux.
I was
Stream.
part of that.
Yeah, was it good?
I didn't get to catch it either. I've been busy. I've been streaming and working as well, so I'm gonna have to catch the replay
Yeah, same here.
because I'm on it first. I gotta see what the hell this thing is. I have no idea about what's going on. Antoine says the contrast on the logo on B cover is strong. I agree.
Yeah,
And Emilio says very cool colors. You're getting a lot of compliments there, Xevious.
Who
Yeah,
did
and
your
Joe
logo?
Thank you. Man. Yeah.
I get I find that's one of the first things people say when they see it for the first time, because I'm definitely making a statement with them, like they're out there always.
Wait, who did the logo? Is that Joe again?
I'm the designer on this thing,
Oh, okay.
so it's I'm a typography guy.
So I've
Are you
heard,
doing the lettering as well?
Yep.
okay. I've heard
Mhm.
I've heard different things about how much work a comic artist can crank out in a day, and I've heard things like full page splashes take longer than multiple panels unless you're going to end up with like more than. There's a balancing point there though. Like too many panels ends up taking longer. Also, which is it?
That's a good question. There.
It's a bit like asking how long is a piece of string, isn't it?
I guess.
It depends on what you're going to put on a page, and the kind of action you want going on. I tell you that a splash page can take anywhere from 4 hours to 2 days.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
And
lot
like
of my
that-
splash pages have a lot of background in them,
Mhm.
and I get lost in those details, and I come out of them and I'm like, holy crap! It's a week later. What's going on?
He likes telling stories in libraries.
I do. I don't know why. With curved things too. Got to have curves in there because straight lines and all that stuff. That's for losers.
It's called Baroque.
And speaking of action and movement, there's this double page spread. Jeez.
Yeah, there's lots going on in this thing for sure. And this is almost finished. We've added this layer of, I guess, our runic language, and I want to keep it subtle. And we've got to spend like a whole, like a 4 or 6 hour work session, just get them done throughout the book. So that's
Yeah. So you haven't finalized that runic language yet?
so the language is done. In fact,
Yep.
we've got, the bookmarks are done. You want to splash it in there, but we don't want to put it everywhere. So
Yep.
this is Nikki saying burn.
This is part of the magic.
Yeah,
You say the word in the rune language, and that's how you access the magic, I presume.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a sort of like you remember Skyrim, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, a lot of stories are
Buzz,
like
roll
that
the
too.
ha, you know.
Yeah.
I read when I was younger. I've got it here actually, somewhere. Aragon. There's another dragon book.
Yeah.
And they had that as well. You have to learn the true name of an object, and if you say its true name, then you have power over it.
That's right.
And so you have to learn the true name of like fire. Then you can shoot fire out of your hand or something like that.
Yep.
Sorry, that's my internet catching up.
That's good.
A little bit further down.
Maybe it's what she's got something. What's written on her arm, or is that secret?
That's actually that's the rune for. Oh God, I hate to say it, but that's the N, and the language is actually named after her. That's Nikki. So that's
Right.
kind of where it kind of grew out of that, actually. So
Yeah.
it's like a young person's tattoo. It's nothing too clever,
Right.
but it looks cool. So they're really cool.
And I always love a woman in with a holster on.
Yes.
We've talked about that before, haven't we?
Mhm.
I feel like we have.
Yeah, that was what initially. I mean, in fact, yeah, you can see in this image, Nikki just had the sleeveless T-shirt and the jeans, and it wasn't iconic enough. So I wanted to make her more ready to get into stuff. So
Okay, wait a minute. Let's tell the story right.
we could go for it. Yeah, you could go for it. Man.
6 months, like we're 6 months into production, and I was in Oslo for like a week, and this girl that I'd been talking to, she's like, I like this story, but this character looks boring.
Yep.
And I was like, what? And I'm a storyteller. I'm a writer. I write prose, poetry. I don't think visually. And so I was like, well, what do you mean? And then she told me, she's like, well, I can't tell from her profile, like, that this is her, that this is anybody special. So I wrote immediately a DM to Xevious, and I said, is this character boring? It took him like 3 seconds to come back and be like, the short answer is yes.
That's fine. Yes, she is.
This is 6 months into production with Xevious. I'm like, you couldn't tell me before now.
That's right. Yeah, because she lives in two. In fact, Buddy can explain it. But she lives in two different dimensions with different spectral qualities. So she wears polarized goggles. So when she gets up in the morning, she straps on her her pistol and puts on the goggles. And this is a really great shot that shows that happening.
Yeah, this is like our I call this the Star Wars kind of thing, the Star Wars montage, because she's getting ready, she's gearing up like Rambo or something, right? But then at the bottom there, it's like Luke Skywalker in A New Hope staring at the two suns. She's staring out because this is where she makes her decision. The whole thing is like her daughters are in trouble. She doesn't know what's happening, but she knows she's got to do something. And she's like, I don't know what adventure waits for me, but I'm ready for it. And that's that scene.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a tat. She's got goggles. She's got white hair. She's got a revolver, like an old school cowboy revolver, on a holster, and she's got this thing on her arm. She carries around a dragon. I wouldn't call her boring. If I passed her on the street, I'd probably stop to have a look.
Yep.
Wait, so you say her daughters are in trouble. Is Nikki the hot grandma or the younger one? Okay,
Nikki's
never
the
mind.
younger one.
Okay, yeah, there's grandma right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Confused for a moment.
It's time, darling.
Yeah, Nikki, like, buddy, how old is Nikki again? She's definitely the MILF for sure. In the
Yeah,
middle.
she'd be like 35 to 38.
Yeah. The sweet zone for sure.
Perfectly
She eats
aged.
vegan and does a lot of yogi.
Oh, that's right. That's my buddy. Yeah. Yeah, she's almost vegan and does lots and lots of yoga. Apparently.
She's got nicely proportioned thighs too. Well done, Joe.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, he likes him thick. Joe likes him thick. We're okay
Yeah.
with that.
She looks very natural.
And hey, here's a point of little trivia. Is I was trying to figure out what to do to make her. So the bracer she wears on her one arm, the leather wrap, was actually because every time I live stream, my cat gets jealous and sits and yells at me, and then goes with claws at my left arm, at my workstation. So somehow that
Sounds like my kid.
But there you go. Yeah. So do you have leather wraps?
No, his teeth aren't that sharp yet, but his fingernails do need a trimming from time to time.
Okay.
So that's for the dragon, I presume.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. For that cover. Now that cover actually
Antoine, she has kids. Yikes. Antoine.
okay.
You sound like you speak from experience there.
Mhm.
Well,
Kids are women with kids.
she has kids, even though, wherever the organs were.
And Mo says, I'd have her face away from the front so she stares at the sun. We can stare at the moon. Vinny would back him up. I was just thinking about this. Vinny would really do well with her, I think.
Oh gosh, no kidding, hey?
Yeah.
It's his duty. Yeah,
It's his duty to draw booty.
that's right.
Maybe a trading card or another bookmark or something.
For sure.
His bookmark was quite the hit. Mo says, props to the colorist. So we've got him right here.
Thanks,
He's
man.
the man with the pen and the dulcet tones.
I always appreciate that. It's I know it's out there. I know it's a bit controversial, but yeah, just again, I'm right into a new spread this morning, and the colors are full on crazy. 110.
Yes, but her designer is right below you.
Yeah.
Or we're not talking about her still. Okay, no, we're just talking color. All right, sorry.
Yeah.
What else we got in here? Okay. Oh yeah, I remember this. This is what I chose for the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, there we
Just
are.
love that.
Yeah. That's the one.
Just
I think Bandito
soak it
said.
in.
Yeah, Bandito said to make that a poster, take the words off, or was it the other one?
I think it was this one. I'm pretty sure it was this one.
I think you're right.
It's really, it's crazy how all those different colors end up being so harmonious, and just like we always say here, you know, they tell a story. The gesture on her is it's a lot of movement happening, and really really nice page.
By the way, Joe, as far as don't take this the wrong way, chat, but as far as the anatomy goes, I'm into weightlifting and whatnot and stuff like that. So I look at movement for if I'm coaching anybody, and I see how you have all of her parts relating skeletally, how her spine makes sense, how the way you have one foot forward and the opposite shoulder and all that, all very natural. Dude, good job. You do.
I thought
I want
you
to
were
go find
gonna.
out what other books you worked on, because you did really well with this.
I thought you were going to talk about the boob physics.
Me too.
I don't want to steal your thunders.
They're very well contained. My wife would get on my back if I drew a hand like this. She says I draw too many claws, but I think it's perfect. It says everything you need to say. Look at that. The face, between the face, the claw, and the fist. Whoever she's running at is
In trouble.
yeah.
Well, this is just where this is kind of like her accepting what she is. because the fire has kind of broken this barrier, and there was a firestorm, and it burst in, and that's the scene you see that on that one cover. The other cover is the fire kind of comes in, it rushes inside the barrier and fills it up, and Granny is just about to finish this spell that will pass on her abilities to Nikki, and they think they're dead in that one moment. You know, they're like, she's like, damn it all, we were so close, and she thinks they're done. And then this scene, and then you just turn the page and this happens. And she says, I don't need to protect her anymore. You know, she doesn't even know the words, and she's doing this through pure will. So I thought it came through in the picture.
Yeah.
I can see her organs just fine, Mo. What are you looking at?
Yeah, what's missing here? Nothing.
Let's not forget she's magic, so she can send her organs to another dimension.
Yeah,
There's
she
no
can
problem
shrink them
there.
down when she needs to.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
There we go.
This is called Nikki in a Nightie. A satin nightie.
Is this a dream sequence?
It's waking up. It's the moment she wakes up from it.
Yeah, she's waking up from a dream, and you're supposed to you see this figure behind her. You haven't seen them yet, and you wonder, like, it reaches out to her, and you got to wonder, like, is this friend? Is it foe? And then she turns around and her door's open. She freaks out, runs down the hall, and then that picture just above this, she runs down the hall outside, and she's looking for her girls because she has this horrible dream about her girls being killed, and then she can't hear them and she can't find them. And then both of her, you know, her door's open to her room, and then her door's open to her house. So she falls on the ground and she's like, where are my babies? And she thinks that her husband came and kidnapped them.
Have I ever told you guys about the time I woke up and my door was open?
No.
After a night of drunken, debauched celebrations.
Mhm.
I was in Germany, and I was living in a university place where there's just, you're just in you got your one little room, you know, with students and everything. And I woke up one night, and the door one morning after I was so hungover, and the door was wide open, and I just freaked out. I mean, obviously, didn't dream about losing kids or anything, but I was flipping out. And the first thing I thought was, oh my God, passports and money. Because this was, a bit way back when. I jumped up into my hiding place where I kept all my cash, and it was gone. And now my heart is racing. Oh my God, what have I done? I haven't locked the door. And, someone's come in and stolen all my money. And then I looked down at my feet, and there's just money all over the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's trailing into under the bed. And then it hit me, and I remembered. I'd come home, and I was so drunk. I don't know why this happened. I got paranoid that someone would break in and steal all my money. So I took it out of its hiding place, which was very well hidden, and thought, I'm just going to throw it under the bed because no one's going to look there. And I was so drunk, I didn't actually really put it under the bed. I just kind of threw it down on the ground, and it just spread out everywhere, and some of it went under the bed. And then I forgot to close the door and left it wide open and fell asleep for about 8 hours. And it was just money everywhere.
Well, that sounds like a nice Tuesday evening.
Yeah. It was good. It was good times.
Is this in the gambling days, or were you a student somewhere in Germany?
Pre-gambling days. But this is you know what this was? This was German money.
Okay.
I went to Germany. I worked for a year, saved up about $10,000, went over to Germany. And, I was enrolled as a student and everything. And they kept bugging me. They're like, you've got to go meet this person for this thing they called a stipendium, which is like a scholarship thing. And I'm like, what is this? I just didn't know what they were talking about for so long. And then they really kept bugging me. You've got to get it done. You've got to get it done. Okay, I'll go over there. I thought, they were going to, I don't know what they were going to do. But I went in there, and they handed me a check for 2,500 euros.
Wow.
Just like that. You're here. You sign this, pick up your check. 2,500 euros. They just gave it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, German taxpayers. Clearly, it went to a good place.
Nice.
That's better than gambling.
Hmm. Yeah,
But yeah, there were no spirits when I woke up. Just broken dreams and the thing from a drunk idiot.
Nice.
As my wife, she said, I didn't spend a cent. Well, look, I'm frugal. Waste not, want not. A penny saved is a penny earned.
True.
She was there in that thing we called a Vonheim. She was in there as well, and she laughed at me because I actually went to school.
So what did you study, man?
Graphic design.
Oh, okay, good, awesome. That's great to hear.
Wait, you're a graphic designer too?
Let's not go back there.
I'm gonna find that song.
We can't play it though. That'll really get the channel taken down.
No, you're right. We can't. Although, anybody know? Like, I was meaning to ask Midnight's Edge, Tom. So Tom does a late night show, and he plays whatever he wants. He does it almost every night on his YouTube, and he just plays music. Now, how do people do that? Anybody know?
Yeah, some people have said that they're not worried about it, but I mean, anytime I play something that I worry about a little bit, gone.
Yep, same here.
Gone. Anytime. I get really paranoid about putting anything on now, just even other people's videos.
True.
Because just all of a sudden, bang, gone.
Mm-hmm.
He played
I don't know
15 seconds of anime and got yanked
That was
down.
the first time it happened, yeah. And then there was a week or two where it was every single stream was getting taken down. There was one I was on with Rob Arnold. We were talking for about 10 minutes, just talking comics, just like this, just him and I, his face, my face, gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it is. I know a lot of people play music. I don't know. They know something that I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at your tiers, your perks. What are they called? Perks, tiers. So featured is you can get both covers. 45 US. All right. You've got a digital on there as well. $10. $10 dues, not $1 dues, US dollaries. And then you've got both the covers. How long's the book, by the way? Sorry.
48 pages.
48 pages. And this is obviously the start of something bigger. This is a story that will continue on.
Yeah, I mean, if it's, this is, think of this as chapter 1 of The Hobbit. This is getting to meet the family, to understand the problem, and Nikki gearing up and getting the magic and the knowledge that she'll use for the rest of the series.
Do you have it planned out how many you want to do, or is it more of a just how long people?
I mean, I have, this book could be. I could do this book for 20 years. This has been about 10 years in the making of my life. It is like I said, it's chapter 1 of book 1 of a 5 manuscript epic series that goes from kind of a basic beginnings, like she's a girl with a couple of kids and a guy named CJ who's a vampire who helps them with this like business that she has. And then it goes from that to her girls. Like the actual title, Sins of the Fae, is because the girls are they're marked as sins of the Fae by these like ancient sleeping gods, like Cthulhu like gods. And they send their minions after the girls, and to find them they mark her with a ritual. And so, but the ritual is the mark of the white stag, which is what her husband Owen used to use. And so she thinks that like he's coming after him. That's why, the first part where she's like, "Where are my kids?" She thinks, "Oh my God, he's coming and taking them from me." And so when that proves not to be true, she's like, "Okay, I've got to get ready. I can't just sit here and wait for that to happen." And then it becomes this entire epic affair that spans centuries, with werewolves suffering from lunar withdrawal, witch magic assisted mechanized robots, different vampires who are also my version of King Arthur, and other just absolute craziness. And I call that Sins of the Fae.
Well, it sounds crazy. That's what we like to hear.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Sounds very cool.
Mhm.
Antoine says, we don't need to play music. You didn't come here for the latest pop hits. You don't want to join Antoine, you want to join in some karaoke with us. Wouldn't that be fun? We could have a karaoke night once a week.
Yeah, we could bring sexy back, you know?
Yeah, people call in and we just sing the songs that the people want to hear. You guys have got a really low goal. So you just smashed right through that, huh?
Well, I had a low goal because I this is my savings. I mean, I saved for a couple of years, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay for this to be made. So I'm paying for this pretty much out of pocket, and I was like, all right, no matter what, this one's gonna be done. If people want to see the next one, I have a goal in mind, and it basically is to recoup my expenses. I mean, we have for Bladenite Productions, we have another book called Sway. Sway is, it's the tagline is, in between heaven and hell lies our only hope, and her name is Sway. We have a cover on that book that was done by a superstar, guy named John Gallagher, does like $10,000 paintings. He did X a favor and did it for us for a lowball price.
We discussed that briefly this morning. Do you have it handy, or maybe I have to hunt for it?
I mean, I can pull it up. Yeah.
If you can pull it up. That's so. When I first met Buddy,
is this exclusive? Has anyone seen it before?
No one's seen this before.
Oh,
and
see, now I feel special. Come to my channel to see exclusive artwork.
Come to the Bancroft show and
let's see if I can share this.
So before I started working on Sins, Buddy pitched me on a book called Sway, and he sent me about 4 or 5 paragraphs, and I was just like, dude, I'm moved. Like, let's get on the phone. Let's talk about this book. And I kind of got things in motion and started doing some design and talked to some people that I know in real life. I was like, let's go with it. And then we realized, there was a point there, like naively, about 6 months ago, we thought, hey, we'll do 2 books at once. And as anybody now who's part of the community or anybody here knows, that was insane. Literally.
That doesn't even register on my.
No, it's like
that's like saying, "Oh, let's go make a round square or something." It doesn't even compute.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I'm not joking. Like back in February, March, even we're having like adult conversations going, "Cool, we'll put one on Indiegogo and one on Kickstarter. We'll do all the shows. We'll rotate and we'll do production all at the same time. What could go wrong?"
Perfectly fine.
With hindsight, this is like, wow. It's like the stupidest 2 motherfuckers you could imagine, right?
Well, this is how you learn, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
All right. So I'm ready to share that, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Can you zoom in on that?
I'm gonna see. Hold on. Let's see here.
Yeah, get the feeling there's some details in there that we need to see.
Oh, there's so much cool stuff in here. Yeah.
Got the logo integrated into the background. Can you go down on her? Oh, that didn't sound good.
Well,
Clip that. Check that out. What's going on there?
She doesn't exist.
You can't go down on that.
this is she's kind of cool because we'll back out and I'll show you kind of like what's going on here, all the tertiary elements. Sway, like I said, her name is Sway, and the whole idea of it is that, like I said, in between humanity, in between heaven and hell is our only hope, and her name is Sway. And the whole point is, you see like this arm, her arm, like she's tried to save her brother after a car wreck and that killed her father, left her brother in the back seat, and there are these demons, these flying demons all over the city, and she tried to save her brother, and this demon like rips her arm off and leaves her for dead. So the Archangel Michael leaves his sword by her, beside her. There you go, and it became her arm. At the same time, this creature here is a Grigori angel named Apollo. Because, God said, I'm going to curse the Grigori angels, which were the angels that laid with man and made the Nephilim. I'm going to curse them to be on the earth forever. So I thought, what's more on the earth than a shadow? So it becomes her shadow because it wants the sword. So in between heaven and hell, in between heaven, her arm, and you see like this gold nimbus, this like wing, and hell, the demon that is on the other side of her, is humanity, her, and that's the only hope.
Yep. So the
Sorry for laughing. Lord Nemesis, what are you saying nasty for? Is that because of what I said?
yeah.
Probably. Man, that sounds really cool.
And so to get the cover done, and again, we just started working together. Some friends of mine started a company called BioWare about 20 odd years ago, and Mike Sass. So Knights of the Old Republic, the cover was a collaboration between Mike Sass and then this guy, John Gallagher. Well, they created Darth. Is it Malik or Revan? I think they created Malik. So I ran the idea by John, and John did this for me for a song. And I look forward to doing. Well, I got a friend price is all, but absolutely love it. Although it's blasphemy. We decided to make her a redhead this morning in a production meeting.
Hold on.
Mm.
I've got the redhead market here. You guys watch out.
You do, but you know,
It's all right. They can team up together, maybe. A redhead alliance.
We could do a good team up cover with that for sure.
I'm getting really into biblical inspired stories lately. I just feel like I've been watching them on Netflix while I draw. Yeah. I think I got started. I got a copy of Soul Finder by Doug Ernst, and just set me off on a kick. And I just watched some of the older stuff like Constantine and stuff. There's a new TV show. I want to actually do like a old school YouTube review on it when I can find some time. It's a new one called Warrior Nun, based on a Antarctic comic. And it's all angels and biblical stuff. It's heavily into the Catholic Church and everything.
It's I mean, our opening spread we have is, I guess we probably wrapped that up about 4 months ago. And buddy, who is it? He arises in the middle of Central Park with news vans everywhere. And what's his line? Do you want to fill us in?
For I can't remember the exact line, but basically it's Azrael, which is like the lieutenant of hell.
Yeah.
And he comes through in this dimensional nexus to New York, and he's like he's in like a he's in a suit, with a tie, kind of straightens his tie, looks into this mic with all these cameras and everything around him, and he says, "Hey, good citizens of New York and the rest of America, welcome to the new circle of hell."
Yep.
And then begins terraforming the entire city, and turning it into this sort of like techno organic seedy Las Vegas.
Yep. Yeah. It's so good. That
what's the time frame you're thinking on this?
On Sway? I mean, like I said, the deal with Sway is that I've already put the money into the other comic book. And if we can recoup the expenses, then we can go into Sway, and I'll have the money to just pretty much pay for it right out. And we'll just get the art. The story's written. I already wrote, like, Sway's meant to be a trinity. It's 3 books, like you said, like sort of a Christian mythology. And it's kind of her journey into, like, she's the first one is like her coming into understanding that maybe the power is not all it's cracked up to be, but she has it. So she's going to use it. And, the first thing that she does is she failed to protect her brother when she was just regular, when she's a regular human. She failed, and her brother was killed. But her brother comes back in this new form, and she's like, I'm going to protect him this time, no matter what it takes.
Buddy, since you're the writer, are you more freewheeling this, or what did you draw from? Gotta say from. Like, are you familiar with Dr. Heiser or what?
No, I mean, be honest, like, this is what happened with this is I was brought on to edit like a different project, and I had to. There was a specific name which was Sway, and they were like, okay, but it doesn't make any sense, but we can't change it. And so I made it work. I was the one who developed the entire IP to make it work. Then everything fell apart, and I said, okay, I get to keep the name and everything, right? And they were like, okay. And I was like, okay, cool. So I made a story with it. So I made this story. So then I completely revamped everything. But I mean, all it came from was just thinking about, like, if I were in between heaven and hell, you know, then what are you? You literally are the Sway. You're what's in between. You're caught in between those two extremes, right? And it's multiple layers of it, because like her mom died, so she's the buffer between her dad and her brother. But then her dad dies in a car wreck, and she's like, I'm all we've got.
Okay. I like what you're doing relationally, but why I asked is there's just been a spate of these Nephilim related books lately, and I'm kind of wondering that, like, I got pretty deep into that. Well, relative to most of my church fellows, deep. I know people who barely study, and you know, there's a lot of a lot of ink spilled in different directions, and I'm kind of wondering, like, why are all these fiction writers picking up on this now? And, you know, are they being influenced by Heiser, or are they getting it from somewhere else? Or is it just like, that looks cool, I'm doing it on my own? So I was wondering where you came from with it. That's all.
Oh, well, my dad's a pastor.
Okay.
So this is the guy, is it?
Yeah, this is our cover. It's our cover dude. He's done a lot of really good Star Wars stuff and a lot of good DC stuff as well.
Looks it. Yeah, that's good. That's crazy. Oh, well done for knowing a man on the inside.
We're all on the inside now, aren't we? You know,
guys, we're up on the hour. I've got to get back to work. Check this out. I think you got a couple new backers.
Oh, we did. Hey, thank you to anyone. Awesome.
Oh, that means you passed 4K.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Fun.
Yeah, man.
Well,
we just need to get to 15 so we can get Xevious' third cover.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, another cover. Excellent. And you guys are now on your way. You can start saying, let's get to 100 backers now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
By the way, I've been checking out Joe's, Twitter, just to see what else he's been drawing. It's pretty good stuff.
Oh, well, the art is great in this.
It is.
So I assume it will be. All right, guys. Like I said, I really got to go. Thanks so much for coming on, buddy, Xevious, Joe, Blue, as always. Great to have you here.
Yeah.
Check out Sins of the Fae. It's on Indiegogo right now, and it needs to get to 100 backers. Hal, everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming out. We always love to see you here. And there we go. Crackheads there. Hal the panel. Mo Biggs. Jane says, good show as usual. I do like to put on a good show.
It's good to see you,
and people saying Frega Boom. I think that's got something to do. Oh, there you go. He's got a new channel. I'll link it. There you go. You'll find it. That's his new channel, Frega Boom. Well, I think it was his. He just had it. He had another channel. I think I remember him saying that. I don't know if it has any subs, but he'll get back on his feet. They'll overturn that stupid thing. Apparently, he just shared, a woman in a thong. Someone said so.
Yeah.
No biggie. He'll be back. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Another cool guy coming on tomorrow. We're gonna look at some new stuff that's coming up. I saw the art today. It looks fantastic. I'll announce that tomorrow. And thanks so much for coming out. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mike.
Take it easy. Bye.
No worries. Bye.
Finally.